Besides all the work that you and X have done on the field, what have you done just when you're maybe sitting around with him in your place at night to help build your chemistry? Do you ever watch tape of NFL quarterback-receiver combos? Do you ever throw the ball around your complex at midnight? What types of things, Tyler?
We haven't in a while, but we did do that a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, it's not even about watching football or doing that. It's just about the camaraderie and just working together and stuff. You know, just maybe, I don't know, just doing everything together that builds the chemistry, and then obviously coming out here and putting in the work together.
Is there a unique talent that he has? Like I know the Dolphins had a tight end, Hunter Long from Boston College, who solves a Rubik's Cube in like 47 seconds. Does Xavier Restrepo have a unique talent that has amazed you in some walk of life?
I don't think he has a unique talent, but he's pretty much good at everything he does. I mean, yeah, he's just a hard worker, and on the field he knows the defense. You know what I mean? So he always finds those holes and finds those windows for me, and it's really helpful.
Keyshawn,
go ahead.
Okay, Keyshawn Smith. You know, how impressive was he to you? I know he didn't get any catches, but what he did, a kickoff return, and would you like to get the ball to him?
Yeah, obviously we want to get the ball to him. Wish I could have pushed the ball down the field at least one time to him. But he'll get his catches 100%. But yeah, I was really impressed by him with his kick returns. I mean, I think it was almost 62 average, 61, something like that, which is really impressive, you know. And that was his first time doing it too, so in college, which is good. So I was really impressed with him.
Tyler, I know you don't want to throw a lot out there the first couple of games, but when do you have to see it from your receivers? You know what I mean? When do you have to see other guys, and how much are you looking forward to adding to the playbook this week?
Yeah, I mean, we ran the ball a lot last week. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have to throw it that much, so yeah, I mean, I'm good with the balance, run the ball whatever way we can win. But yeah, the receivers are going to make plays, and they have ever since the last 5 days of fall camp and leading into last week, and they're doing a great job right now, so I have full trust in them.
You feel that with all the work you've gotten, obviously in camp and the scrimmages and everything, the timing's going to be there?
Yeah, the time is there. I mean, I think between me and Jake, we only had 3 incompletions and 2 throwaways, so it was good.
After watching film, it's obviously not a ton of mistakes in a game where you score 9 touchdowns, but and after watching film, what are some of the things that you think you guys can still work on, still build on?
You know, just like you said, the timing. You know, making sure every little detail is right, whether it's blocking, steps, alignment. Had a few penalties on offense, and just trying to limit that. So, just the little things.
Talk to me about your running backs. You know, expecting Jalen back this week, only 2 scholarship backs. You completed some passes to Parrish. How'd you feel about the job those guys did?
They did a great job. Him and Thad, even catching the ball in the backfield with Henry, and then obviously we get Rooster back. So I think we have one of the best running backs rooms in the country, and that's saying a lot without Don and TC out right now. But I mean, Rooster and Henry and Thad right now, they're good. They're really good players, and they'll get the job done.
You were out of the game late, but we saw a few walk-on guys as well get some big carries, even touchdowns.
Yeah, Devon, Lucius, Terrell, they did a great job too. I mean, they're always in there working with the twos too in practice and always getting those reps. So I wouldn't say I was surprised because I know they could do it, but I'm impressed, especially with Devon and Terrell. Devon, he actually converted to the running back beginning of spring, and then Terrell is a walk-on freshman. So I'm proud of those guys.
How often do you see Thad get hit and think, oh, this play's over, and then he's still running 5 seconds later?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I couldn't do that. maybe every once in a while, but he does it every play. He's a bruiser. He puts his head down and he runs hard, and after he gets hit, he'll get those extra yards.
What's he like? What's that like? I mean, he was kind of a quiet guy last year, and I think a lot of fans wanted to see him more. He had a lot of yards per carry last year also.
Yeah. I mean, I think last year he needed a little bit to learn a little bit, get his body right. Being a freshman coming from high school, so but yeah, he's definitely ready now. He's going to take a lot of carries too. So, but he's a quiet kid, and he's a hard worker too, and he doesn't need to be outgone to be a good player. And he's quiet, but he's a hard worker.
You see how Elijah's body obviously has developed as games developed. How good could he be, do you think, as an all-around tight end?
Yeah, Elijah could be really good. He made a lot of progress from his first year to now. him and Will are going to be a great duo together. You know, when we need them the most. And yeah, Elijah's going to be a really good player.
The Southern Miss defense, a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of picks in game one. What did you notice about what they do well, I guess?
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, they have a lot of talent. A lot of guys that have been there for a long time. Some transfers in there, and they have a lot of schemes that will mess with the quarterback and blitz all different types of ways, different types of safety rotations. So it's a little different than last week, but we're prepared well for it.
Talk to us about playing football in a city like Miami with so much going on. How do you stay focused? What's your process?
You know, just always being here and working hard and not paying attention to social media. You know, all the fans out there, they're supportive, and I'm happy that we have that. But you got to stay off it and not look at the good, not look at the bad, and just stay focused and do what we got to do.
Coach,
Last question for Tyler.
Coach, guys mentioned how there was some meat left on the bone on the offense last Saturday. Do you remember any specific instances where there were plays to be made that weren't?
Yeah, we went over the film as a unit, and we went through a few plays. Maybe the running back's not hitting the correct hole, even though we got tons of yards. But if they did hit the correct hole, probably like a 75-yard touchdown. Yeah, stuff like that. Just getting those little details right, like I said before. You know, making sure our head placement is on the right side of the block, or just alignment purposes.
Keyshawn, you had 3 amazing kickoff returns. What was that like for you? The feeling?
The feeling, it was great. We planned on like taking a kick return back, but like I didn't know that I was going to be able to take 3 like that.
Did you think that one was a touchdown before they called it back?
Before they called it back, most definitely thought it was a touchdown, and I was really excited.
You had a great block, right, on one of those from Xavier?
But no, Xavier had a great block for me.
That's what I mean. I meant Xavier.
I couldn't have really got to where I really couldn't got the yards I've gotten without Xavier or the kickoff team by itself.
The other thing I want to ask you is Mario said something about for a kick returner, the second you get that ball, if you stutter, step, whatever, you're done. What goes through your mind? What's the most important thing in returning a kick?
The most important thing is like what he said. You can't, once you catch the ball, you got to run. You can't stop your feet because they're coming full speed to take your head off. So you got to get a head start before they do.
On the offensive side of things, they didn't have a catch the other day, but how much are you guys looking to maybe open up the passing game more in the next couple of weeks?
Coach Gatt got a lot of stuff. We like practiced so many plays, so like I don't think he wanted to open up the playbook like that. So like we're not really worried about that. We just worried about winning 1-0 every week. So,
what's the biggest thing that you took personally that you need to work on, or that you think you did well, from week 1?
I could always get better on my routes. I mean, from a team standpoint, we had a great game, but we could always get better.
You were close with Charleston Rambo last year, I know.
Mm-hmm.
This year, is there one guy that you really lean on, a role model, or?
I wouldn't say a role model, but me and Xavier got really close. We look up to each other. We talk all the time. We text all the time. We hold each other accountable. We gotta hold each other to the room. Everybody in the room, we gotta hold each other accountable too as well. And so like, as a unit, me and him try to lead that.
What are your impressions of Southern Miss's defense that you've seen them on film?
Their coverage, like zone coverage team, they bail a lot. So we got a lot of access and stuff. I'm not gonna say too much, but we're ready for them. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're ready for us too.
Keyshawn, you only returned 1 kick last year. Were you in a lot of them, but you just returned 1, or what was that situation?
I returned 2. It was against App State.
Okay.
Last year.
Say 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't like the first one. I wasn't supposed to take it back. I was being a little bit greedy because it was like my first time back there, and I just took it back. And then that was it last year.
And how important, just special teams, Mario Cristobal thinks they're very important to you. What's your philosophy?
Yeah, I agree. Special teams is very important. You could win and you could lose a game by special teams. So he holds, just like offense or defense, he holds special teams accountable. And we take it very serious here.
You think people are going to start kicking away from you now?
I hope not. But I feel like they will, but I hope not. I hope they're not scared to kick it to me.
Keyshawn, talk about your high school coach, call that Coach Dady. How influential was they to you? And do you still speak with them?
I speak. How do you know that? How do you know? I speak to them every day. Coach Dunn sends me positive messages. Me and Coach Carter is like my uncle. He's like my big brother, uncle. He's like my role model. You know, he's been there and done it too. So is Coach Dunn. They kind of the reason why I'm here now. So I couldn't be here without them too. So I thank them a lot, and we're real close.
Hakeem, when you were considering transferring back in the spring, what gave Miami the edge, and who were your other finalists?
What gave Miami the edge was having a great staff, really, that can develop me to the player that I want to become. And we have Jason Taylor, Hall of Fame player. We got Coach Wright, who's a great coach as well, and Coach Joe also. So that's what really gave me the edge. And also the energy on the field and practice. And just it's really a family atmosphere. And also Coach Cristobal talking to my family. My mom really loved him, so that's what gave him the edge.
Who finished second for you in the competition?
Probably Penn State.
Tell me about the challenge as a defensive line, Frank Gore Jr. What kind of problems does he pose?
Well, obviously, his dad's a legend who's been here, so he's probably going to play with a chip on his shoulder when he comes out here. But Coach Steele's going to game plan around him, and we're planning to limit his yards.
They talk about you got to contain him to the inside, right? You can't get outside. Is that the biggest thing, and how do you do that?
We contain him by really just having contain on the edge. They got big old linemen. They're going to try to push across the ball, but we got a really good D lineman as well, so it's going to be a competition. I'm excited.
What is it about the Wildcat? They use him in the Wildcat. When you know the guy ain't going to throw it, why is it still hard? Is it hard to defend, or is it not hard to defend?
It's not the game plan that's the hardest part. It would be the physicality. You know it's coming, but it's still
Mario said more than once that you were the best player in defense. I guess you got the defensive game ball or whatever. How nice was that? And yeah,
it just shows me that I need to become more of a leader on this defense. It's great that he said those kind of words about me, but I always got work to do. He's always going to push me so I can reach my full potential.
How good did it make you feel when you were up there for the presser? You know, after the game, when Gil called you up, you looked a little emotional almost.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt good to be recognized as one of the leaders on the defense.
You always this soft-spoken? Is this your demeanor, or we get a different guy once you get on the field? Like
different guy when I'm on the field. Off the field, I'm a little soft-spoken, shy a little bit, but on the field, you got to flip a switch and become a different guy.
Was there any Hurricanes defensive linemen you liked watching in the NFL growing up? Any you've developed a relationship with at all?
Actually, when I was younger, I didn't watch much football. I just played it because I loved the game. I actually started studying football once I got to college, really.
I know that, for example, Calais Campbell developed a relationship with Jalen Phillips and with Rousseau. Any of the former Canes defensive linemen you've had a chance to talk to over the last few months?
Actually, during the camps that we hosted, I think it was a legend camp, I got to speak to Greg and Jalen just for a brief moment. But they're cool guys.
We know West Virginia used you obviously a lot of defensive end as a freshman, more tackle than nose last year. Kevin and the staff here, Charlie Strong, a lot of end, but moving inside, some up passing downs. Is that the ideal way to use you, do you think, the way that this staff is?
I think it is. I love being on the outside. I also love being on the inside. But I think they're just putting me in the best situation for me to succeed on the defense.
Is there one thing, I was going to ask the same thing, one place you feel better at, or?
I feel more comfortable at 3 technique on pass rush down. I feel like that's where I'm most effective in the passing game.
Mario said yesterday, the best thing, after Saturday's game is that you still think you can play better and do better. What do you think you can do better?
I think I can have better leverage, better takeoff, hand placement, just a bunch of things. I write things down after every game that I need to work on, that I need to improve on. Really, when I watch film, I don't really focus on my good plays. I really focus on my bad plays. And even if I'm looking at my good plays, even when I'm looking at my good plays, I'll still try to pinpoint things that I didn't do that I could have done better on that good play.
So what did you write down on Saturday?
Hand placement, leverage, get off, footwork, and contain. Because we lost a lot of contain last week.
Mario also said you had heavy hands. What exercise you do in the gym to make your hands heavy?
Just strike the pad every day. As a kid growing up, when I first started playing D lineman, I wasn't the biggest guy, so my coach back home always told me I had to be physical. So when we after practice, I would just punch the pad every day.
What did you think about playing at Hard Rock? That was your first time at Hard Rock?
That was my first experience.
What'd you think?
It was great. I loved it. I thought it was going to be hotter, but I didn't know that there was shade up top, like the roof. I wasn't expecting that, but it felt good. It's a beautiful stadium.
Wait till Saturday noon.
Yeah.
The other team doesn't get that. The other team doesn't get the shade. So
Yeah.
So we got a little edge on.
Oh yeah.
So, Coach said because of your good work on special teams, you've earned more work on defense. Is that part of your thinking? Obviously, you want to do well just to do well, because it's the goal every time you're out on the field. But was the hope to get more time on defense? Do you feel like you're worthy of it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely feel like you can't take any plays off. So how you perform on special teams is going to translate on how you play on the field. And in this case, your playing time. So you got to give effort in every single aspect of the game. So you got to go hard on special teams for sure.
How have responsibilities for you changed? Obviously, going from a striker role, some learning that under Manny Diaz's system, to now linebacker work. How much of a learning curve has there been for you?
It's actually not too major. It's like the same kind of responsibilities. You're like apex position, and you're generally doing the same job throughout. So.
What were you guys able to take away from? I know it was a lopsided game, but what were you able to take away from a game like that?
You have to treat every opponent like they're the best. You have to play your best football in every single game. I'm not going to take any games off. Our demeanor is going in every game, trying to be 1-0 every single week.
Chase, what do you need to do now?
What special teams unit are you on, and what's your philosophy about special teams and how important?
Everything. Every
You're
single
on
special
everything?
team. Except field goal, of course. But
Okay.
and my philosophy on that is just special teams is just as important, maybe even more important than the real game. So
Why?
you got to, because it's like the change of downs, and that just determines your field position, then what your mindset is going to the next. Like you can't take any plays off, because then the team is going to capitalize on that.
Chase, what do you need to do now to make a move at linebacker and get yourself in the rotation here as the games get more intense?
Probably physicality. Just keep pressure, hammering the ball. Going into this game that we have now, they're a heavy run team, so we're gonna definitely see me on the field more.
Speaking of that heavy run, Frank Gore Jr. is kind of Mr. Everything on their offense. What are your takes watching him?
He's definitely a very patient back, very fast. He likes to get outside. I mean, he likes to go down the middle too, but we're going to contain all that this week. We're definitely going in here just going to treat him as, they run Wildcat a lot, and we definitely have to just stone the run all game.
Well, what's the mental preparation been like? As Coach Steele talked about yesterday with Southern Miss, it's basically 3 different systems in one with their offense.
Yeah, it's not too complex. They kind of run the same general offense, but we just definitely have to just contain the run this game.
Which linebacker spot are you focusing on?
Right now, Sam.
So as a continuation of what I asked you, so is what you need to work on pass coverage?
Not necessarily. Just being more physical.
Anything else for Chase?
Working under Charlie Strong, linebackers coach, what's that been like? First game under your belt as well. How do you describe your relationship?
We're definitely, everybody in the room is close. He's a very intense coach. He's very intent with what he does, and we're happy to have him here for sure.
Have the linebackers group, there weren't a lot of mistakes or anything, but have you guys worked on the pass coverage this week?
Yeah, we're definitely cracking down on everything. We really have to focus on the run this week, but of course the passing game is going to come into effect at some point. But yeah, we're definitely just cleaning up all the nicks and stuff.
All right, Chase.